Hey everyone. Now that we got the earnings reports from both NVIDIA and AMD, and we saw the stock price reactions to those earnings reports, a lot of investors are curious now, is it finally time to buy AMD stock instead of NVIDIA stock? After all, NVIDIA's stock price has absolutely soared while AMD stock price is up, but it's not up anywhere near how much NVIDIA is up. So let's take a look at that question and let's understand and let's decide maybe if it's better to capitalize on the artificial intelligence trend by going with AMD now because Nvidia stock price is already up so much. So let's take a look.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right. As I highlighted in the beginning of the video, Nvidia's stock price so far in 2024 is up a whopping 115% year to date. Meanwhile, AMD is only up 12.86%. So you might be saying, well, it's too late to get into Nvidia. The stock price is already soaring. It might be more prudent to go with AMD. But let's take a closer look here at that question. So if you look at revenue growth from AMD and Nvidia, Nvidia in the orange there, you'll notice that over the last decade, AMD and Nvidia, their revenue growth has been closely correlated, fluctuating, but closely correlated. They're both very close. But in the recent few quarters, Nvidia has separated itself from AMD. Its revenue has absolutely soared, while AMD is up from the bottom, but it's not up anywhere near as much as Nvidia is. 262% revenue growth in the latest quarterly update, when AMD grew just 2.24%. So you can understand why Nvidia's stock price is up so much is because the company's performance has been so great. The revenue growth, the profit growth, which I'll talk about next, has been phenomenal, while AMD has been poised to benefit from this AI trend. And they did launch their new MI 300X chip that's gaining traction, but it's not yet exploding the way Nvidia is exploding in terms of revenue and profitability. So it's just been like on the cusp of expansion, on the cusp of phenomenal growth, but it hasn't yet achieved it. It hasn't yet delivered the performance anywhere near Nvidia's performance. And it's a similar story with the operating profit margin. Nvidia in the latest trailing 12-month period generated an operating profit margin of 59.84%, when AMD generated just 2.55%. And then looking back longer term, you can see Nvidia has consistently been more profitable than AMD according to this metric, the operating profit margin. So both in recent quarters and over the longer term, Nvidia has outperformed AMD. And again, that explosion in profitability coupled with the explosion in revenue justifies Nvidia's stock price increase, right? That stock price increase has been fueled by growth in revenue, growth in profitability, and AMD has yet to demonstrate that growth in revenue and that growth in profitability. And so you can understand why its stock price has trailed Nvidia's. Now, another critical metric to compare Nvidia and AMD is the return on invested capital. This measures how good a business is at using investor money to create products and services that then generate profits. So how good are they at that critical task? NVIDIA has consistently been better than AMD at this, and especially most recently, 93.75%. This ROIC is unsustainable. NVIDIA will surely come back down. But still, over the longer term, NVIDIA has generated solid and increasing return on invested capital. AMD has done a solid job as well, increasing over the past decade before hitting that slump. Remember the big gap in the replacement cycle for personal computers that caused a big slowdown for AMD's business, and that caused a decrease in revenue, decrease in profit, decrease in every critical metric for AMD, because in 2023, fewer people purchased personal computers, and AMD has a large business in that segment, more so than NVIDIA. NVIDIA only sells GPUs into the personal computing market, and not every personal computer has an NVIDIA GPU or a GPU at all. It might have like an integrated graphics card. But AMD, not only do they sell their GPUs into the personal computing market, but they also sell the CPUs into the personal computing market, and their business is more strongly correlated to personal computer sales than is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA didn't suffer that downtrend as AMD suffered because of that gap in personal computer sales in 2023. However, personal computer sales are rebounding in 2024, and they will move even higher in 2025 and 2026 because of the replacement cycle of the computers that were purchased in 2020 and 2021. And so AMD will benefit from that trend more so than NVIDIA will coming into the next couple of years. So far, every metric we've looked at, NVIDIA was better than AMD, considerably better, not just slightly better. And so if they're trading at a similar valuation, wouldn't you prefer NVIDIA over AMD if you can get it for the same price? And then you might be thinking, no, I can't get AMD for the same price. AMD stock is up only 12%, while NVIDIA stock is up significantly more than that. That's true, but if you look at the valuation, according to the forward price to earnings ratio, they're selling at the same valuation, or roughly the same valuation. NVIDIA is trading at a forward PE of 30.48, while AMD is trading at a forward price to earnings of 29.99. So according to forward earnings and the price to earnings, AMD and NVIDIA are the same price. And given that NVIDIA's performance is so much better than AMD's, this is a relatively easy decision to make for me. I'm going with NVIDIA, which might be a counterintuitive conclusion, considering that at the beginning of the video, we highlighted that NVIDIA's stock price is already up 115% versus AMD that's only up 12.86%. You might be thinking, surely there has to be some mean reversion here. Surely AMD has to catch up to NVIDIA, and AMD cannot continue underperforming NVIDIA going forward. However, if you consider the fundamental aspects of the business, and that's revenue, profit, and cash flow, NVIDIA has deserved that stock price increase. So you're getting so much more with NVIDIA stock today than you were getting in January of 2024. You're getting a business that's grown substantially since then and is expecting to continue to grow substantially for the next few quarters. So for all those reasons, I still think NVIDIA is the better stock to buy here. Even though I have both of them rated as a buy, I like AMD as well. But if I had to pick between these two, I would pick NVIDIA stock today. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.